Hello everyone and welcome back to Tarot and Torch. Today we have an exciting unboxing as I had ordered the Moonlit Tarot by ChanelDays. So I'm very excited to get into this unboxing. I actually received it the other day, but I had hit a very difficult burnout moment, and as excited as I was, I couldn't bring myself to actually film, so I took it as a sign that I just needed to relax. But today I am so very excited so that I could unbox it properly without struggling too much. I hope all of you are doing well. I know that it has been just a lot of people have been feeling a lot of things, and I hope that you all are doing okay. Okay, so let's see, I am gonna need something to open this, I think. Okay, so we are going to open this beautiful deck. I saw the walkthrough on Chanel's channel and I really enjoyed that experience, as the Moonlit Tarot is designed to work with Hecate, and Hecate is my matron deity. She was the first goddess to really come forward in a powerful way for me to work with, and there aren't very many decks that I have seen, tarot decks that I have seen, that really embody her energy, so I'm very excited for this one. I do work with her with the triple moon. I know not everyone does, but the triple moon aspect of Hecate was very important to me in my journey and my work, working with, you know, the Maiden, Mother, and Crone, but also with past, present, and future energy, and also just the it works in many ways with different aspects of the self, and also even in the other areas of study and things that I have been doing. So in any case, let's take a look at this gorgeous deck together. Okay, so this is the let's see, this card is a list of meanings, it looks like. So it's a little hard to see. There we go. Okay. So this is a list of the cards and some brief kind of meanings, but I'm feeling that this deck is going to be one that I work a lot more with the imagery than anything else. I do appreciate the linen cardstock here too. I love that. I got the version that does not have the gilding, but I may end up edging it in black, as I do with many of my other decks, or maybe red. We'll see how I feel. Gold would be pretty too, but I'm not really sure. So yeah, these are all kind of almost like a guidebook of brief meanings for each card. Okay, so now we're going to start with the actual cards. And oh, I think the lovers are first here because there's multiple lovers cards, which I do appreciate. So in this one, this is from that new Dracula movie, which I believe has been released in other countries. I don't know if it's been released in the US yet. I would like to see it. I know already, because at least I have a strong feeling that I'm not going to like it quite as much as the other Bram Stoker's Dracula version that came out with the Coppola version that came out in the 90s, but we'll see. I could be surprised. Oh, this is the Lover's card I think that I'm going to appreciate the most, because it is Frankenstein monster and Elizabeth from the new Del Toro Frankenstein movie, which I adore. And I also just like this one because it's from a modern movie that encapsulates kind of this year and last year for me, as I'm still watching the film. I've watched it a few times, and there's a lot to work with. Okay, so this is the King of Swords. It's a very sharp sword. I like that. You know, sometimes you see the swords cards and they don't look very sharp. And I like that this is, it has a very antique gilded kind of appearance to it. Queen of Swords. Very much in her own mind and independence. Knight of Swords. This is the first deck, by the way, that I have purchased from Chanel. It's on Make Playing Cards. And so I have not had the pleasure of working with any of her decks yet. And she mentioned that this is something that she likes to do with the knights, is to kind of have an object and framing around kind of a mouth, which I find so fascinating. So I'm very interested to see kind of how this deck reads as well. And again, we have, with the Page of Swords, we have a very pointed sword, which I totally love, as a lot of the swords in the other decks, perhaps not to look, you know, dangerous or something, they look very round and blunt. 10 of Swords. Nine of Swords. Eight of Swords. I like this kind of very blurred and muted image behind the very crisp sword at the top. There's a lot of texture as well. Seven of Swords. Wow. It does make for a very creepy kind of effect, doesn't it? Six of Swords. Yeah, and this has some of the beautiful imagery that I saw during her kind of reveal of this deck on her channel. And I just love the Gothic architecture. I mean, if you've been here, you know that's something that deeply calls to me, and just makes me very happy overall. I really enjoy seeing kind of that old architecture. It speaks of a lot of my childhood, and there's a city that I wandered in when I was younger that I would seek out this kind of architecture in, and also old cemeteries, and that really just, it takes my mind back there to those places. you know, when I look at this card, I automatically associate it with kind of those historic cemeteries and burial grounds. And I mean, for the Six of Swords, that makes some sense because you're moving on from past energies. And I like the light that she's holding to show that there's, you know, that there is light at the end of the tunnel where you're heading. And, you know, in contrast to kind of some of the darkness behind. Five of Swords. This is a very powerful card. And also being on the edge of a cliff in that way. How interesting. Four of Swords. Kind of a playful take on that, but I love the winter scene as well. This card in particular, but also some of the other cards here, it does remind me of some of the scenes in Nosferatu, which I love that movie, and I know that she did also put some of the images from that film into this deck, which I'm incredibly excited about. So this is a very beautiful Three of Swords. Again, we see this lovely Gothic architecture, and I also really love this window that's up here. It looks like stained glass, and we have this antique steel or silver, kind of a it looks like a beautiful piece of jewelry for the heart and the swords stuck through. And it's interesting to note too that there's more than 3 swords here. Oh, and that it's a sacred heart. I missed that little bit at the top there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 swords. And then there's another up here for the Three of Swords. But the meaning is still, you know, that heartbreak, that pain. It doesn't even matter how many swords there are. In fact, the more pain that there is. So it's very interesting. I love that it's a Sacred Heart. I've been working a lot with Sacred Heart imagery lately. Okay, so here we do have the image from Nosferatu. Or Nosferatu. I'm not even sure how to pronounce that properly. But it's gorgeous. I mean, for the Two of Swords. It very much gives you that kind of lost feeling and being caught between worlds. Ace of Swords. So for the swords, there's also a grail or a chalice, you know, that represents the cups. So it's almost a female and male interpretation at this. So this is almost a male and female interpretation where the sword is being contained or unified. I guess you could see it as that as well. So like male and female unification. So that's beautiful on a spiritual level. And we have the King of Coins. Now I love the keys in this. Of course, the keys are a symbol of Hecate, and it's one that I've been working a lot with over the years. I'm actually getting a tattoo very soon of a key, so don't be surprised when you see that. But I love that in the deck because, you know, again, a lot of tarot decks, you know, they may incorporate some imagery of keys, but For Hecate, I feel it's a necessity because it does show that opening of the mind, of spiritual wisdom, and really using the wisdom to unlock new parts of yourself. So I appreciate that. Queen of Coins. She's lovely. She has such a vintage beauty to her. Let's see, make that more clear. And there's so many shadows here as well. Knight of Coins. Gorgeous. I'm interested in the vampiric quality of some of these images, or the vampiric associations, because I haven't really, placed that in my connection to Hecate, but I have worked with vampiric energy, so perhaps that's why. But I really like that incorporation, and I feel that it does make sense on many levels. I mean, Hecate is associated with the underworld and the dead. She's a psychopomp, so it makes sense. Okay, Page of Coins. Again with the beautiful keys. And again, another thing I appreciate on a spiritual level is that many decks, when they look at the suit of pentacles, it's generally about, money and things like that, but here with the keys, it leaves some interpretation open, because the pentacles are not meant to represent only physical goods in your life, but also can be representative of your body and also of new kind of physical experiences that you have. But there's a lot more to it. So the key is a beautiful way to show that, because keys can unlock treasure chests, but they can also unlock a door to a room that you've never explored, or they could be something that doesn't even open anything at all, but used to open something. So there's so many rabbit holes kind of that you can go down with these interpretations that I love. 10 of Coins. Also, gold is not something that I have a lot of in my decks, especially like this black and gold combination. And I'm very much a silver girl, so I do tend to gravitate towards silver, but I love this. And again, so we have the keys, and it's connected to this beautiful Gothic building. So the 10 of Coins becomes, again, this possibility to explore this grand, beautiful place. And it's a different kind of aesthetic and beauty than what a lot of other decks portray in their Pentacles suits, because it just opens it up a lot more and makes it also something perhaps that you find beautiful that isn't traditional or standard. Okay, we have the 9 of Coins. The 9 of Pentacles is a very important card. It does speak of this understanding your own independence, your own power, your own place in where you are in your life, and gratitude as well. So I do feel that that's conveyed here. It's also a very beautiful card in many decks and interpretations. So we have this beautiful landscape, the snowy landscape and the architecture, but also this natural element of the flowers, even if they are kind of unnatural in this landscape. It does look very beautiful, and they match the gold of the keys. So it also could be an added layer of, you know, what's important to you may not be important to others. What's beautiful to you may not always be for others. Eight of Coins, and we have this beautiful little witch who is very, again, vintage and lovely. And doing the spiritual work. So again, I appreciate we're taken out of the physical a bit to see that the Eight of Pentacles can be doing your spiritual work as well, not just crafting, you know, with your hands and working and toiling and going to your job, but also, you know, writing in your book of shadows or mirrors, doing some journaling, connecting to deity. So there's a lot of other interpretations. Seven of Coins. I'm going to try to go just a little faster because, you know, I can talk about each of these in detail, but I'll save that for future videos. I'm just going to try to get through the pentacle suit here. So hard to, because they're so beautiful and they all have such great, you know, thought and intention behind them. So I'm really pleased with the deck and the choices that Chanel made. I just knew I had to have this one, which is funny because I just filmed the low buy year video, which I'm not sure if it's going to come out before this video or not. Simply because I want to dive in and start working with this deck. Three of Coins. Love all the cathedral imagery. Beautiful. And I love the heels that they're wearing too. It's hard to see. I hope you can see that detail. But the nuns here are wearing, I guess they're supposed to be nuns, are wearing heels, high heels, which is beautiful. Oh, look at that. Two of Coins and these gorgeous snowy owls. The Ace of Coins. King of Cups. Queen of Cups. Love her so much. She is the Morticia, in my opinion. She'll always be the Morticia Adams. It's another kind of a persona, I guess, that I work with. Knight of Cups. There was such beautiful light when I began filming, and now it's very overcast outside. Page of Cups. Ten of Cups. Let's see. Ten of Cups. Nine of Cups. And I believe this is supposed to be Elvira. Which, you know, that's another thing I really love about this deck, is there's playfulness here with some of the images, but they also have such good, wonderful nuance to the meaning of the cards. You know, Nine of Cups is it's an emotional card, but it's about being happy with where you are, being satisfied in where you are, and I just feel that it's, even though it's playful, it does make such a beautiful impression as well of that. Eight of Cups, and we have let's see, there's a wolf and bats, which are both symbols for Hecate. And Hecate is also known to be kind of a loner deity on the fringe of society. So this entire deck speaks to that, which is amazing. Six of Cups. Five of Cups, beautiful cemetery imagery again, but also this figure kind of mourning at the grave, which is very powerful. But also, you know, Hecate is about that transition. You know, she is about birth, but she's also present at death, and that is, you know, where a lot of her, that's where a lot of her energies are, is between those transitional points and on the threshold of them as well. So it's important to acknowledge that side of her if you want to work with that energy. And a lot of people, you know, they're not ready to dive into that kind of thought or take on that kind of emotion. So, you know, there is a lot of heaviness and depth to working with Hecate, but also it's very healing and freeing once you do. So it is that beautiful dance of light and dark that her energy brings. Two of Cups, beautiful. Ace of Cups. There's just something so gorgeous and feminine about a flower, you know, this big, beautiful moonflower in this golden chalice. So lovely. And, you know, that is what the Ace of Cups is that overflowing of that love and beauty and just joy as well. King of Wands. Woo! I love that flame in the dark like that. That's powerful. And of course, Hecate is also known for torches. If you know, well, I guess I haven't really even mentioned it, but the name of my channel, Tarot and Torch, comes from Hecate's torches of illumination and guidance. Queen of Wands, beautiful Lady Gaga, which I totally agree with, totally. Very much Queen of Wands energy. Knight of Wands, this beautiful kind of sensual image here. I don't know why my technology today, I think it must be something to do with Uranus and astrology at the moment. It's acting up quite a bit. Let's see, hopefully it's doing what it's supposed to be. Okay. Page of Wands. Okay. 10 of Wands. Nine of Wands. Gorgeous imagery. Eight of Wands. Seven of Wands. Very intense. Six of Wands. Ooh, that's so interesting and creative the way that the moon phases are there as well. I like that a lot. Okay. Five of Wands. Four of Wands. Wow, that is so powerful. Just that big explosion of light. It kind of feels like getting together before the world is ending, or as the world is ending. Kind of like any given day in 2025 and 2026. Three of Wands. Two of Wands. Ace of Wands. That is so beautiful. Even though I'm very earth-centric in my and water in my chart, I do have a great appreciation for fire. My Venus is in Aries, so it's like I'm literally like a moth to a flame when it comes to fire. The world. Judgment. Oh, so gorgeous. Do you guys remember MySpace? I used to, that was my aesthetic basically back then when I decorated my walls in MySpace, my profile imagery, and you know, there was a lot of cathedrals and purple and red, and it was very gothic inspired. The sun. And really, you know, that has never left me. I still appreciate and work with that aesthetic, and as well as the spiritual meanings and the writing, the gothic fiction aesthetic. Let's see. The moon, the star. The tower. Oh, I love this image. So powerful. The devil. Temperance, another really beautiful vintage kind of image, but with that snake symbolism. It's almost, you know, to me it looks very snake-like. I just love that so much. Very captivating. death. There is a shadowy Grim Reaper there as well. The Hanged One. I like the different layers around this as well, because we have the person hanging upside down, but also it's hanging on a wall, mounted on a wall with that fixture. Justice. Okay, we have some actual snakes here, along with the scales. Wheel of Fortune. That's so pretty. And it makes such a grand feeling as well when you look at it. It's not just, you know, oh, the wheel is turning, but no, you are feeling every movement that this wheel is making, and it's massive. The Hermit. Strength. I believe there's wolves here. It's a little shadowy here right now. Like I said, when I first started filming, it was nice and bright, and all the light has just abandoned me. The Chariot. Oh, that's so lovely, and it's a little bit of a splash of color here too. That's nice. The Lover, another Lovers. Okay, so this is from Only Lovers Left Alive, which is a wonderful movie if you've not seen it. It has a lot of, it's very thought-provoking, but it's also just enjoyable to watch with these two actors who are so talented. It's Tilda Swanson, I believe her name is, and Tom Hiddleston, and both are extraordinary actors, and it's just a lovely, very gothic film actually too. The Hierophant. There are vampires in that film, by the way. Only Lovers Left Alive. The Emperor. Yeah, okay. I love the clouds in this one with the light breaking through. And is that, yes, it's Stonehenge, I believe, or some similar structure. Okay, trying to hurry through this now because my camera is going to run out of battery. The Empress. The High Priestess. Oh, that's lovely. The Magician. And the Fool. Overall, a beautiful deck. Love the textures, the lighting, the shadowy work, and deep thinking that went into the creation of this deck. It is available on Make Playing Cards by ChanelDays, and I hope you enjoyed this very rambly walkthrough, and I will see you all in my next video. I will see you all very, very soon.